Motivation is a scam. It's a chemical spike, a fleeting neurological bribe that disappears the moment things get difficult. If you're waiting for the spark to get work done, you aren't a high performer. You're a hostage to your own brain chemistry. The people you admire aren't more inspired than you. They are simply governed by a different set of structural laws. Today, we are dismantling the myth of willpower and replacing it with the 3 silent rules of the discipline formula. Most people fail because they focus on Rule 1 and 2, but Rule 3 is the only reason the first 2 actually stick. Imagine it's 6 a.m., your alarm is screaming. In that split second, 2 versions of you are at war. One version remembers the goals he wrote down last night. The other version only cares about the warmth of the duvet. Most people think this is a battle of strength, but it's actually a failure of architecture. You're trying to use a software solution, motivation, for a hardware problem. High performers don't fight this battle because they've already rigged the game. The first rule is the law of environmental determinism. Your environment is an invisible hand that shapes your behavior. Psychology tells us that friction is the greatest enemy of action. If you have to look for your gym shoes, you probably won't go to the gym. If your phone is on your desk, your focus is already dead. High performers don't have more discipline, they have less temptation. They design choice architectures where the right path is the path of least resistance. They don't try to eat healthy, they don't keep junk food in the house. They don't try to focus, they leave their phone in another room. Stop testing your willpower and start engineering your surroundings. But even a perfect environment can't save you from a chaotic mind. This leads to the second rule, the identity anchor. Most people approach discipline by trying to change their outcomes. They want the six-pack or the bank balance. But behavior that is inconsistent with the self will not last. If you tell yourself, "I'm trying to wake up early," you're still a person who sleeps in, just one who is currently struggling. A high performer shifts the identity first. They don't try to write, they are writer. When you believe a specific behavior is simply who you are, discipline stops being a chore and starts being an expression of your identity. You don't need willpower to brush your teeth because it's part of who you are. Now, here is the pivot most people miss. You can have the environment and the identity, but if you don't understand how your brain processes cost, you will eventually crash. This brings us to the final, most critical piece, the rule of discrete horizons. Top performers never look at the mountain, they look at the next 3 feet of the trail. The brain is an energy conservation machine. When you think about a 6-month project, your prefrontal cortex calculates the massive energy expenditure and triggers a procrastination reflex to save resources. Rule 3 dictates that you must shrink your horizon until the cost of the task feels negligible to your brain. Don't commit to a 2-hour workout, commit to 5 minutes. Don't commit to writing a book, commit to 2 sentences. By closing the loop on a tiny horizon, you bypass the brain's fear response and trigger a dopamine hit from the win, which fuels the next micro-horizon. Discipline isn't a personality trait you're born with, it's a structural byproduct of how you manage your space, your identity, and your focus. You don't need more fire, you need a better fireplace. Stop waiting to feel like doing it. The feeling is a luxury, the structure is a necessity. Build the system, anchor the identity, and shrink the horizon. The version of you that wins isn't the one who fought the hardest, it's the one that made the fight unnecessary. Your life is the physical manifestation of your structural rules. If you don't like the results, change the architecture.